Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dream Radio. So, today I was going to do a video about do simps deserve reparations, but I'm not in quite that crazy of a mood, so I decided instead that I will do a video about the ethics of generation of desire. So, anyway, it's somewhat related to the question of do simps deserve reparations, but it's more important. This is actually, I think, maybe sometimes when I think about this, I think this is maybe the most important question of our age, but it's kind of difficult. To lay the groundwork, I will say I think there are many things that are like philosophical pillars of our society or whatever, but there's three philosophical pillars that are of particular importance in general, but also to this very specific thing. We are in a liberal society, okay? Supposedly. Things don't look so hot right now, but we're in a liberal society, which means that we value personal freedom of people. And this is because we see people as like individuals enacting their free will on the world around them, and then we have this ontology of ethics that's built around this image. And then the second thing is we live in a capitalist society, which is to say that we have built a capital market around the functioning of these free individual choices. Essentially, there's like free individual choices get made, and there's a market that like mediates between them, and that's capitalism, basically. And these things all come together in a very unfortunate way. Now, I really do like the idealism of liberal love and veneration of free individual choice and freedom and all this kind of stuff. I really do like that. But there's a problem with it. And the problem is that people can make free choices, but people are not necessarily in control of their desires. So, the big exemplar of this was a man named Edward Bernays, who was around. He was a student of Freud's, and Freud's theory was essentially, according to the canon anyway, the discovery of the unconscious. And when you realize there's such thing as an unconscious, there's like an invisible layer to your psyche that is deeper than your conscious experience that produces your motivations and a lot of other things that's influenced by forces beyond your immediate recognition and so on, is pretty decently accurate, but it brings in a new opportunity because Edward Bernays was also an exceptional capitalist, and he realized that at the time, if I was going to buy a toaster, the toaster ad would be like this. It would show me a picture of the toaster. Maybe it would give me a schematic. It would explain to me, well, the toaster is very, it has such and such like power consumption. It's very durable. It's got room for 2 toasts or 4 toasts or however many it has. And it was this very logical, you are a intelligent person with your self-interest, and we're going to explain to you why our thing is practical for you. But Edward Bernays brought in the idea that we should start making strange associations, unconscious associations with products, and this introduces a whole new realm of possibilities, with public relations being an industry that he basically started. But then the kind of subtle unconscious desire crafting manipulation, which is everything that we see in advertisements now. An apotheosis of this, but this kind of thing you see everywhere, is in the figure of Joe Camel. And if you look at Joe Camel's face, it's obvious, it's pretty obvious that it's just a penis. And the reason is that the people who made that advertisement wanted people to associate phallic, masculine imagery with smoking cigarettes, and then that would make them feel like a Chad if they smoked. And that's basically that idea. But whatever. The important thing with all of this is that if you have a capitalist market that is built around a naive idea that people's desires are good for their own sake or whatever, you create a kind of dark world inverted niche and drive within the computational mechanism of a market that will have a motivation to turn people as much as possible into essentially consumerist people, which is to say that the market will view the people in their involvement with it as desiring machines, and then you will have a motivation to craft as much desire within these people as possible. And I think that One of the greatest signs of this was the riots that happened, I think, in Minneapolis. I don't remember exactly, but this is at the beginning of the big BLM showdown last summer, when somebody got killed by the police, and then everybody's angry. And what do they do as soon as they get angry? What is the ultimate libidinal output of these people when it's like they care no more for the shackles that limit their behavior, and they're going to engage in a kind of orgy of just whatever they want. And what is it that they want? They want Timberland boots, radios, TVs. They want to go into a store and they want to ruin it and they want to steal all the valuables. So essentially, it's like people have become so degraded by this cyclical desire generation that even in their most, you would expect some orgiastic sort of thing to be very, very much like people returning to nature, but in fact, it is people expressing the ultimate mode of a consumerist psyche. And so the degree to which the motive of desire generation has completely crafted human beings into, not to be cringe, but consumerist automatons, basically, is extremely abject and hard to overstate. So that's the thing. Desire generation is like the big thing that seems to be at the heart of like almost all of our problems. And it's fucked up. It's really fucked up because we have this thing where we think, all right. People are free. We have to respect their freedoms. It's like everything that you do that limits people's freedoms seems very obvious. It's like some kind of light goes off in people's heads and they get upset. And we have rules. We've got tons of laws about this kind of stuff. We have tons of formal and informal societal ethics around limiting people's free choice. But it's like, okay, choice to do what? Choice to do what they desire. And we have almost no rules and almost no recognition about what do we think about generation of desire in people. To what degree is it okay to deliberately engineer the desire in other people? There's a YouTube channel right now called CoComelon, and it is got like 100 million subscribers. I think it's the third largest channel, and it just has been increasingly blowing up right now. And it's all kids nursery rhymes. I think the target age is like almost zero, like 1 year old to maybe like 3 or 4. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I was that old, but I think that's about the age range. And this YouTube channel has 100 million subscribers, and parents have tablets a lot of the time. And you notice that kids learn how to use that tablet sometimes before they know how to talk. And they go on the tablet and they open up YouTube and they're fucking around and watching CoComelon videos. And like, we know how bad social media addiction is because we experience it as adults. But we weren't like, it's like, okay, you're allowed to drink alcohol, but you're not allowed to drink alcohol when you're 5 because you'll develop a kind of dependency because your neural circuits are so soft and malleable at that time that it's very dangerous. So it's like, if you find out that somebody started doing heroin when they were 24, you think, Jesus, guy's in big trouble. If you find out someone started doing heroin when they were 7, you're terrified. So what the fuck do we think about the fact that, like, how many of these 100 million subscribers are 2-year-old children who are having their neural circuitry and desire mechanisms in their head just fucking blasted by technology in a way that's never happened in any generation prior to ours? What do we think about that? What do we think about that? It seems like all the ethical conversations are about on YouTube. Like, I don't know. Is there racism on YouTube? I don't know. The thing that I want to highlight here is that there's like a lot of ideas that we have about how to behave and what kinds of things we should be upset about and so on. But it's almost all based around like limiting people's freedoms, and there's almost nothing about it's like we don't have rules, so there's no rules being broken. If I'm Pokimane and I have some simp who's paying me $500 a month, and he's not making his rent payments because he's addicted to this weird like parasocial fake girlfriend experience thing that she's generating, this desire that she's generating. We don't think that some people think she's doing something fucked up, but the people who do that are like people who are dissidents, more or less. On the Twitch corporate company, whatever, they banned the use of the word simp. The only reason I get upset when I see someone simping is because I know I want to save them. I see them I see them being controlled by out of control desires, and I feel like as a man I have some kind of like brotherhood duty to protect them. But then they ban even the use of that word, which is such a toxic, terrifying, toxic kind of hyper maternal thing. It's very fucked up. So there's no rules, and so normie people, they don't even see something's wrong, or they barely see something's wrong. But something's wrong with the way we see things. If the way we see things is producing this shit, and all we have to say about it is like, well, it's like free choice or whatever. And there's a lot of things like that. We've got drug addicts, heroin, crack, whatever. Cigarettes, even. People are killing themselves with that stuff. I mean, I know it's very common, but like you die many years earlier if you smoke cigarettes a lot of the time, even if it looks cool. You got simps, as we talked about. I was watching a not documentary, interview with a cam girl, and she would talk about how there was guys who would spend thousands of dollars on her despite the fact that they were broke, and like they thought they were like in love with her, and they thought that she cared about them, but she didn't. In fact, a lot of the time the conversations they would have would be some other employee had the job of texting these guys while she had the job of going on cam. And like there's nothing you could do to stop these guys. If you told them to go away, then they'd end up falling in love with some other. If you said there's something fucked up, man, like you have to stop sending me all this money, whatever, this has gone too far, then they'll leave. But then they'll just do the same thing with some other girl on the website. So the simps thing is very abject. And you've got these kids on their tablets who have brains that are like at the most malleable that they'll ever be, and they're getting programmed into like desiring patterns on technology. And it's simply that. It's like, you know, you can do things that are going to make desire happen in people. And I don't know exactly what to do about that. And people don't notice things a lot of times because people don't like that liminal state of uncertainty that comes from seeing something fucked up and not knowing what to do about it. That's why a lot of normies don't like to admit that there is no such thing as a reputable news source anymore, is because like a world without reputable news is just too chaotic for their mind, so they'd rather just believe bullshit. But anyway, that's my thing, man. There's a friend of mine was talking about this, and she said that it's like in a world on the internet, you're trying to keep your life clean and keep your desires in order. But doing that, because of the way the internet is, it's like picking your lawn for weeds every day. You go over it and you find every little sprout and so on, and you have this meticulous process that you're at every day. But then your neighbor and all of your other neighbors' lawns are like fucking full of dandelions. And if you imagine the substrate of desire generation on the internet as something physical that you could see, that's how it would look. And so, like, the desire generation substrate, the substrate of desire online is like the Ganges River or something. It's completely polluted. And it's very fucked. I don't know exactly what to do. Again, I don't know exactly what to do, only to say that obviously, if we're going to live in a future that is good, we're going to have some real answers to the question of desire generation, what to do about it. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
This is crazy. I don't even know this cat. I'm out here. And some cat just came over and started rubbing up against me. I'm out here like in a park. Anyways, rubbing up against me. Everybody knows I'm sweet and good.